isn't much to offer in the full EV sedan market, but the 2023 Hyundai IONIQ 6 is here to give Tesla a run for their money. There are 3 trims available, with the base SE trim starting at $45,500, and today we are looking at the mid-level SEL trim. There's 2 powertrains available, including a rear-wheel drive as well as an all-wheel drive. And then coming this summer, there will be a standard range rear-wheel drive SE trim that's gonna have less range, a little bit less power, but come at a more accessible starting MSRP. So today we are looking at the long range rear wheel drive. That's gonna get you 305 miles of driving range, which is less than the SE rear wheel drive. That's all because of the 20-inch wheels on this one. You're gonna have 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. The long-range all-wheel drive is going to be powered by a 74 kilowatt battery along with a 165 kilowatt battery that's going to give you 270 miles of driving range, 320 horsepower, 446 pound-feet of torque. All right, let's talk about charging. You have a power charge port door right on the back right side of your IONIQ 6. So you can get from 10 to 80% with a level 2 charger in as little as 7 hours, or with a 50 kilowatt charger in as little as 73 minutes, or if you have access to a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger in as little as 20 minutes. This also has the vehicle to load feature, which will allow you to have power for things like charging your laptop. You also have a little charging progress pixels right here. So there's 4 different levels, so you can see right there how much charge you have gained. Down here I wanted to show you one more really fun little touch that Hyundai did with their key. So this is your key fob. It's shaped like a little egg kind of, but if you turn it sideways, it's the Hyundai logo. So it is sort of shaped in a weird way. It looks a lot like a computer mouse in my opinion. It is incredibly aerodynamic though, and that's exactly what you want out of your EV. You'll get LED headlights and DRLs. That's gonna have automatic high beam assist as well, standard across all 3 trims. And then that pixel design that we saw in the IONIQ 5, you're gonna see replicated right here into the IONIQ 6. So all of the fun little pixel shapes in your headlights and throughout the rest of the vehicle. And then moving down, you'll notice some peculiar rectangles here, or flaps, if you want to say that word. Those are active grille shutters, and those are going to open to allow a little bit more airflow, which is going to help increase efficiency. And you do have a frunk. It's half a cubic foot. It's very small. Not great for storing too much stuff. So the color of this SEL is called transmission blue, which is really cool, and you might be thinking that is not blue, that's gray. And at first look, it does look like it's a matte gray kind of color, a flat gray kind of color. But if you get up close and in the right sunlight, there's totally blue pearl throughout here that makes it look iridescent, and it's super cool. You'll get 20-inch wheels on the SEL and Limited as well. Then you'll have more of that pixel design through your turn signals within your mirror. You do have a keyless entry. Those are gonna be flush door handles. Also, the SEL comes with Hyundai Digital Key 2, which allows you to use your iPhone or your Apple Watch to unlock your car. And it works very similar to how Apple Pay works, where you put your phone up next to it or your Apple Watch up next to your door handle for that to unlock. And then moving down the back here, you have a really cool translucent shark fin antenna. You kind of have to get close to see that it's translucent, but just a really fun little design detail. And then overall, kind of looking at the design of the back, it looks like it could be a hatch or like a fastback style, but this is in fact your traditional trunk. That's where your seam is, where that will open up. The back is probably my favorite part of this whole car. It's highly stylized, And of course, a whole lot of pixel design going on back here as well through your tail lights. And then there's also this really cool like ducktail style wing that has a giant brake light integrated into that. And then an even smaller lip spoiler down here on the bottom. And then you have more pixel lights here on your reverse lights right down there. You do have a hands-free or a remote lift gate. Opening that up, you will have a 60/40 rear folding second row, and that's going to give you a little bit more cargo space back here. Sitting in the second row of the IONIQ 6 is a very nice experience. I have so much legroom. This front seat is currently adjusted for my driving height, so this is the prime position to be sitting in if you're sitting behind me, because you have all of this legroom. And then you also have like so many pockets. So many pockets, so many places to put stuff. So the first one that I really like, because it fits my giant iPhone perfectly, is this pocket right here. And it's nice, like it's in there, so even if we're taking some crazy turns or accelerating like crazy, the phone is gonna stay there. And you sort of kind of have a spot right here if you really want to put your phone there, or maybe a short book could fit there on a long road trip. You also have another pocket right down here, and there is a very, very small water bottle holder in the door pocket as well. And then you have your armrest that has your cup holders right here for actual size beverages. And then you have another little storage pocket right down here that you could potentially store your phone in while it is charging. You've got two USB-C charging ports right here, as well as some nice air vents that are nice and adjustable. And we are loving this flat floor space. It makes it a lot easier to scooch in and out of the back of the seat. There is a lot to talk about in the front seat, so make yourself comfortable. These front seats are H-Tex trimmed. They also are heated. You will need to move up to the limited trim in order to get them ventilated. You'll have an 8-way power driver's seat and a manual passenger seat. You will have a leather wrapped steering wheel. It's heated on the limited trim. Then moving into the door, there's even more pockets and storage space up front. So you have a couple of pockets within your door, which is pretty standard. There's really cool ripple design on the door that like ombres up. You'll also notice that there's no power functions in the door, and that's because they're all located right on the center. So your window controls, your locks, and your unlocks are all gonna be right here. And then you have some more storage, obviously cup holders, cool. And then you also have this funny little pocket that fits your key really well, maybe chapstick or loose change, and then your standard little center console here that also has USB-C charging, two USB-C charging ports on the inside of that. And then moving ahead, you do have wireless charging that is standard on the SEL trim. There's a really cool pixel style light, of course, that will turn on once it is recognizes your phone is charging. You also have a standard USB charging input right here as well. Below that, you have even more storage for maybe a bag, or you could potentially put your French fries right here so that they're like easy to reach when you're driving. The shape of the dash is super unique. It like wings out on either side, which I thought was really, really interesting. And then if you look closer, this looks like it might feel rippled, but it's not. It's almost like a translucent overlay, like over the ripples, just a visual texture. And then guess what? You have even more pixels right here in the dash. And then you'll notice this red light here. It does have ambient lighting, and you can have like your top light that's also in your door wells be different than the footwells. So you can have like two different colors going on. And another really cool thing, I don't think I've ever seen this before, is you can make your ambient lighting speed sensing. So it's the level of its intensity will change depending on your speed. Like that's really fun. I don't know why you would ever need it, but how fun is that? Along with the ambient lighting in your dash and your footwells, you also have it in your steering wheel. So these 4 little pixels are actually illuminated right now, and they'll change color once you activate your voice command, and that's how you know it's listening to you. So again, another really unique feature that the IONIQ 6 has that like literally nobody else does. And then moving on up, you have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. You can change your screens here, so you can just go ahead and check out, like, you know, typical car information, safety information, all within your dash. This will also change depending on what drive mode you're in. So you'll have your normal, sport. You can press and hold that to go into snow mode, and then right back to eco. And then speaking of eco, you do have your regenerative braking right back here with your paddles behind your steering wheel. You also have a pretty interesting gear shift here that has even more pixels on it. So forward's gonna put you in drive, 1 click back neutral, hold it all the way back, you go into reverse, and then your park, you'll also notice that your steering wheel changes colors when you're in reverse. That's super cool. Then your little, to park, you just press a button on the end. You have digital climate controls here. They're not haptic touch, so there's 0 feedback when you touch any of these buttons here, but you can control your heated seats right here. There's 3 different levels right there within your infotainment system. You can also quickly access your navigation, which is standard on the SEL, or your radio. You can also set a customizable button here. Maybe you wanted to get to Apple CarPlay really quickly. You can make that your customized button there. I also like that you can quickly access your backup camera with this button here. You don't actually have to go into reverse. So you'll have your standard reverse view. You can also change to a top-down view, so looking straight down right at your bumper. Another important button here is your media button, because this is how you're gonna listen to the radio. Also how you're gonna listen to sounds of nature. Now this is super fun because there's some really interesting ones. You can be on a sailing ship. But it's weird because it's like sounds of nature, but it also plays like a really weird little tune. It's so funny. And then look at, there's even more pixels right there. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Let me stop. Okay, and then you can also listen to all these different fun. Look at, it's like you're cruising in a spaceship. Actually, do you know what? This is like meditation music, kind of. You could just be like on your lunch break and like come chill in your IONIQ 6 and meditate on your lunch break if somebody's making you really frustrated at work. You know, or if you just need to like take a chill. It's so funny. And speaking of sound effects, you have quiet mode. So if you turn that on, it will turn the volume down of the speakers only in the back seat, which comes in handy for sleeping babies or people that just might not want to listen to the same music as you. You can head to your setup menu, go to vehicle. I want to show you all these ambient lighting controls. So hit lights, hit ambient light. So you can change the color here, so you can see all of the different like the set things. You can also choose a custom color if you would like. So just by scrolling through here. So I think there's like 64 different colors within that. And then if you want, you can link it to your drive mode. So that's gonna change the color of the light depending on what drive mode you're in. And then the sync lighting with speed. So that's what I was telling you guys about earlier. So changes the brightness based off of your speed. And then even the linking it to your voice recognition as well. So this is gonna do exactly what the steering wheel did. So it'll change colors when it's listening to you. So you'll be able to visually see that your car is listening to you. So really fun, love the ambient color. The IONIQ 6 has far more personality than other popular EV sedans on the market. So if you have any further questions, you can drop them in the comment section below. And a big shout out to Capital Hyundai for hooking it up with today's IONIQ 6. See you later.